I think it's recording. Michael, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good, good. Thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast. I know you're a busy man.
Thank you.
So anyways, before we kind of jump into everything we're going to talk about today, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background so my audience can be a little bit more familiar with who you are?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Michael. I am co-founder and CEO of Education Ecosystem, formerly known as Live EDU. I'm a mix of an engineer and business guy. So I code in Python, I do Django, I do JavaScript, I do Quasar as well. I worked in the past at Amazon, I worked at GE, I worked at UniCredit as well. Before that, I co-founded an e-commerce cashback company called Kyoda. And I have experience in e-commerce, I have experience in venture capital, I have experience in investment banking, I have experience in corporate finance, and I used to work in Europe, and I used to work in Europe and Asia. And from my studies, I studied business administration, physics for my master's degree, and then I completed a PhD in finance.
Wow. Did you travel a lot?
Yeah, I traveled a lot. I travel a lot for work, and in general, I like traveling. And the different roles that I took over, they allowed me to travel because I was involved in companies that were kind of like based in Europe, Asia mostly.
Yeah. Where's the place that you enjoyed working the most?
Actually, that's interesting. So I know Europe pretty well. So I kind of like grew up in Europe. So I didn't find Europe interesting anymore after school, after college. So I found Asia pretty interesting because everything was new, right?
Mhm.
And I had a chance to work in China. I had a chance to work in Japan. I had a chance to work in Singapore. And because like Asia is not that huge, I got the opportunity to see like many places. And that was like a new experience for me. It was a new culture. Everything was new for me. So I found like Asia pretty interesting.
Was it hard to adapt like with the different language and everything to work there?
Oh, that's interesting. So overall, it was not pretty hard because I didn't
Mhm.
even have to learn any language because mostly people I was dealing with, they spoke English, right?
Right.
So in business, I was speaking English. Privately, people spoke English as well. So, compared to the US, people in Asia speak, second language, which is English pretty well.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
good.
something that you need to kind of like command to kind of like progress in your career. So English is pretty common.
Good, good. Well, I mean, that's helpful. I've only been to Latin America and I've been to Europe once, so I got some traveling to do still. So tell me about education ecosystem. Like, what is it?
Sure. So education ecosystem is a decentralized peer-to-peer project-based learning platform, right, for people to improve their job skills in areas such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, game development, data science, and programming, right? We are
Mhm.
the world's biggest project-based learning platform. And what we do is basically we teach people how to build products, right? Unlike any online education, company that that you have heard of, like Udemy or Coursera,
Mhm.
we are not focused on beginners, right? We are more focused on intermediates to experts, right? We are focused on people who already know, what they do, who already have like 2 to 3 years experience, right, and want to improve their skills that they already have, right?
Mhm.
So our users are mainly professionals and college students who already, have work experience, right, and are just interested in improving their existing skills to get better at what they do. So the area that we cover is called professional development, right? Even though we always say we are an online education company, we say it because it's much easier for people to understand, right? But we are
Mhm.
very much focused on, in the professional development market, right? And that is a $360 billion market overall, right? And our users are generally located in the US. We have our users mainly US, Europe, and Asia, right? And our product is like a hybrid of Twitch and Pluralsight slash Lynda, right?
Mhm.
So we have like a hybrid type of product. And our mission is pretty simple. We want to teach people how to build real products. That's what we do.
Okay, gotcha. So, what is the mission to help provide like education to people in different niches? or is it for professionals to have an opportunity to teach independently? Like, what's the main goal?
So our main goal is very simple. So normally, if you think of somebody who's like an engineer, right, or who is like a cybersecurity engineer, software engineer, normally what happens is it takes these people a lot of years to kind of like acquire the skills they need to build real products, right? There is a difference between somebody just knowing, for example, game development or Python, to the point where the person really builds a product with Python, right? Builds an application with Python, right? And
Right.
that's where we come in. We come in where we kind of like teach people to kind of like build real products with the skills that they have, right? And the way we do it is a project-based learning approach. So basically, people come to our platform, they see like real projects, real products, and they kind of like learn with these products how to build a full like scope product from A to Z, right? So if you take cybersecurity, we teach people how to build like cybersecurity applications, right? From A to Z. If you think of game development, we teach people how to build like real games and release it, right? So that's where that's like our sweet spot, and that's where we come in.
Okay, gotcha. So how does it work? So like if I wanted to build out a game,
Right. So
and I
let's say,
wanted to use the platform to get the knowledge to do that, like how would that
right.
work?
So imagine education ecosystem as a library where you come and you have like a ton of different projects
Hmm.
that you can choose from depending on your preference, right? Let's say you want to learn how to build like a game in Unity, right? And you have learned the basics of Unity on Coursera, Udemy, you know like the basics of Unity, or you have worked like 1 or 2 years in Unity space and you want to kind of improve your Unity skills. You come on education ecosystem, you see a huge library of Unity games. You take those Unity games, right, and you kind of like can build these products. You can see the whole code for this game, right? You see all the different, all the different assets you need for the game. You can see a video of how this game is built by a project creator from scratch to end, step by step, and he explains it, right? And you can also see all the resources he uses. You can see all the source code. You can clone the source code and you can replicate everything yourself.
Okay, very cool. So I assume what makes the platform valuable for someone to use is the professionals on the platform. So how are you guys incentivizing professionals to teach these things and to be involved?
That's a good question. So the project creators, the professionals you mentioned are project creators, right?
Okay.
We have over 20,000 project creators, and these project creators, they cover the 6 categories we cover: programming, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data science, and blockchain, right? And these creators, these project creators, we incentivize them mainly with our Lady tokens, right? So we incentivize them with cash and Lady tokens, but Lady tokens is the majority part of the incentive that we provide them, right? So if a creator creates projects on education ecosystem, that person is awarded a certain number of Lady tokens, right? And
Okay.
those Lady tokens is like what is used as the main form of payment mechanism for project creators.
Okay. So are the Ledu tokens, do those come from the users and end up going to the project creators, or do they come from the platform? Like how are those distributed, I guess?
That's a good question. So at the inception of the Lady token, when we kind of launched Lady token, we created like a pool of Lady tokens, right? And
Okay.
that pool of Lady tokens is dedicated for project creators, right? So project creators are a very important, stakeholder in our ecosystem, right? They are a very important player. So for project creators, we created a pool of Lady tokens, right? And that pool of Lady tokens is what we distribute to project creators when they create projects, right? So we have like a base amount of Lady tokens, right, that we distribute, and on top of it, each time a viewer requests a custom project, we get additional Lady token from that user, and that those tokens we distribute them also to project creators.
Okay. So are the Ledu tokens solely used for payments, or do they have another functionality?
That's a good question. So Lady token is our native ecosystem currency, right?
Hmm.
And Lady tokens are used for payments in our ecosystem, for incentivizing ecosystem participants, right, to contribute positively, in the ecosystem, to contribute their way. And on the viewer side, that means the people watching the content, the people learning, the people practicing with their projects. On the viewer side, the viewers use Lady to pay for custom project orders, right? If a viewer wants to kind of order a custom project, wants to order like a custom cybersecurity project, game development project, they pay with Lido tokens, right? On the project creator side, Lido is used for paying project creators. And on the community member side, we use Lido basically for paying community members that support support the ecosystem, meaning those that are running like content quality checks, those that are running bounty promotion programs, and those that are running airdrops to kind of promote Lido.
Okay. So where can I trade Lido tokens? Like if I have some, do I go to like an exchange like Binance or Bittrex, or is there another way?
So yeah, Lido token is currently traded on, you can trade Lido token on IDEX, you can trade Lido token on Dcoin, you can trade Lido token on Mercatos, right? So so far we have not intentionally, we have not targeted big exchanges like Binance, because we are really much focused on the utility of our token than just using it as a speculative object, right? So we have kind of like refrained from those exchanges like Binance, because Binance is not bad, but Binance, that's like a strong drive towards speculation. The tokens that are there, they have like a strong drive towards speculation, and we are very much focused on the product utility of our tokens.
Okay.
So
yeah, this is very cool, man.
We prefer mostly like decentralized exchanges for token trading.
Right.
That's like our main preference.
So is this live like right now? Like if I wanted to do it right now, I could go to the website and use it?
Yes, you can use Lido tokens live. Everything is live. Nice. You can pay with Lido tokens. You can get paid with Lido tokens. You can order custom projects with Lido tokens. We have over 20,000 project creators. We have over 1 million users who are kind of like paid with Lido tokens, who have kind of made, others who have received, others who have watched content, who have been rewarded as well.
You got 1 million users already?
Right. So our product is already, our product is not new, right? Our product was launched in 2015, right?
Ah, okay.
So we are not like launching. So we kind of like have been on the market already. We are not like new. We're not like, we didn't just launch.
Okay. So you've been around for about 5 years.
Yes, we've been around for over 5 years.
Sweet, sweet. Well, it sounds really cool what you guys are doing. So what's the future look like for education ecosystem? Like, do you want to evolve into something that's like Coursera, or do you want to take it a different direction, or like what's the roadmap like, I guess?
Right, that's a good question. So our roadmap for 2020 was kind of like smashed by the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. So for 2020, we really don't have a roadmap. We are just continuing to do what we planned to do before the pandemic hit. Right. Because before the pandemic, we were planning to do some, road shows in Asia, right? And those road shows, we need to, cancel those. But our main goal for now is basically expanding our content, our library, our library for the categories like artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, right? Because for this category, we have like huge demand, and we are not able to meet the demand because like it takes time, and also it's very tedious to create these projects for these categories, right? And so that's what we are very much focused on for now until the pandemic kind of like subsides, right? That's like what we are kind of like really focused on. So main focus right now, we are not adding new categories. We are basically doing what we are doing now. We are focused on the current categories we have. We are expanding the number of projects that we have for these categories, right? That's what we are kind of like working on. That's our roadmap until the pandemic is over before we change plans, right?
Right.
On another note, basically our community itself is building currently a coronavirus telehealth service, right? And this coronavirus telehealth service that our community is building, basically it's an idea that came out of, it's an idea for our roadmap that came out of the coronavirus pandemic, right? And this telehealth service, we will offer like professional coronavirus services to people who are eligible, right? So basically the kind of services that this coronavirus telehealth service offers is we offer like telemedicine service, we offer therapy services, we offer also disinfection services, right? And this is really much focused on coronavirus. It's a coronavirus health service. And the project is called National Coronavirus Hotline, right? And we are developing the product right now and also raising funding for this project, right? So we plan to make the service basically for the end users. It's going to be free. And we are working on currently like on funding from, a mix of government and private foundations, right? So this is like something that we added to our roadmap in 2020. We didn't plan it in 2019, but due to the pandemic and the nature of the pandemic, how fast it is, growing and how fast it is. We have realized that it's not something that's going to go away right away, right? Our community started with this, community project, and we are almost like 50% through. We expect to launch in the next 4 weeks.
Gotcha. Well, that's a cool addition to everything. So, like, did the pandemic set you guys back at all this year, or did you guys see more users come on because they can't go into traditional schools or educational systems, or like, how did it affect you guys?
That's a good question. So it affected us positively and negative.
Mhm.
So the first wave of the pandemic was pretty positive and great for us, right?
Mhm.
Because the first wave gave us a lot of users, it gave us time. We even planned for a lot of traffic, right? But the second wave hit us a bit hard because one of the ways that we monetize our product is really to B2B as well, right? So on the B2B side, we help companies, accelerate their product developer adoption, right? We help companies basically gain more developers for their APIs. We help companies train developers for their API and SDKs, right? And one of the ways that we kind of like, work with companies on this product is through tech events, right? And these tech events have been scaled back, right? So all these companies have scaled back their tech events. So that's where we have been hit, much. And also like because of the pandemic, nobody knows actually what is going to happen next in the next month. So every company is kind of scaling back their plans a bit, right? And playing more like waiting mode. So yeah, that's how it has affected us negatively. On the positive note, we get a lot of users, we get a lot of traffic. So it's like a plus and minus.
Which tech events do you usually attend or look for people?
Right, right. So the biggest tech events, like biggest tech events, are those kind of like. So for each programming language you can think of, each categories we cover, right? There's a cybersecurity conference. There's the annual cybersecurity conference, annual Python conference, annual JavaScript conference, annual Django conference, annual Java conferences. So for all the categories we cover, all the subcategories we cover, there are conferences, right? And those conferences we are there all the time, right? And this is where kind of we meet you. This is where we meet users easily. This is where also we gain our B2B customers and work with our clients on APIs and SDK, helping them gain adoption for their API and SDKs.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of sucks. The most of conferences are, shut down, rescheduled this year and going into next year. It's such a mess, even for me too.
Going a bit online, digital, but I mean it's in infancy. You don't get the same scale and productivity.
It's not the same. It's not the same as being in person and having a conversation. It's so weird.
Exactly. That's basically the main pain point.
I know. Where are you based now?
Right now I'm in California. I'm right now in LA. I'm normally in San Francisco, but because of the pandemic, next 2 months I'm gonna be in SoCal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know if you're ever in Vegas. I'm here half the time, so yeah, let me know if you ever come through here.
That's nice. Actually, before the pandemic, I was thinking of exploring Vegas before everything kind of like hit hard, and Vegas was closed. I assume it's still closed or it's still open.
They did a mandatory shutdown for the next couple weeks.
I see.
The governor just made that announcement the other day.
Oh, I see.
But I don't know. Vegas is still operating. People are still doing things. So people are stubborn here. I don't know if they'll stay inside.
Well, that's interesting. How long have you been in Vegas? Did you grow up there? Did you just move there?
Yeah, I grew up in Oregon and I moved down to Vegas when I went to college in California because it was closer. And then lived in Vegas a couple of years after I graduated college. And then I've been living back and forth between here and Medellin, Colombia. So I just got back from Colombia a few weeks ago. So recently back stateside.
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, anyways, before we wrap up with the episode, how can people find Education Ecosystem? Do you have social media? What's the website? Give me the details.
Yes. So our website is education-ecosystem.com, right? And my personal email is michael@education-ecosystem.com. Our website is again, education-ecosystem.com. And there you can find, all the projects we have and all the content we have in our project library, right? And if you are looking for a custom project that you want to kind of get built for yourself, you can place an order for a custom project. And you can kind of like place your order anytime, and we kind of like complete, custom projects within 2 weeks. They get created by project creators.
Mhm.
And yeah, we cover, the categories: programming, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, game development, data science, and blockchain. So if any of your users has, skills in these areas, they can kind of like create, we're happy to have them on board, and they can create projects for these categories, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's it, on how they can kind of like, access our site, and also access our content. And yeah, if they want to create, projects, if they want to be project creators, yeah, they can reach out to me anytime. My name is Michael, and my email is michael@education, like education minus ecosystem.com.
Perfect. I'll put everything in the description so that they know where to go and they can find everything. But Michael, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. I know you're busy, so it means a lot. And yeah, thanks. Hopefully we can talk some more soon too.
Thank you very much. It was nice being on your show, and hopefully meet you soon in Vegas.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care, man.
Bye.